Before we begin, something I normally don't do, but I feel it necessary to warn you folks that this game has flashing lights, so if you have photosensitivity issues or something of that ilk, best steer clear of this one. As for everyone else, The true challenge with today's subject matter is trying to figure out what this thing is actually called. One side just says Nexar, while the other side has, in tiny print, The Challenge of Nexar. We'll go with the longer title for the sake of it sounding better, but I'll tell you what, after playing this for about 10 minutes or so, the title is the least of your concerns. Released in 1982 for the Atari 2600 video computer system from the fine folks at SpectraVision, The Challenge of Nexar has you controlling a crosshair of a spaceship with your joystick and flying through this interdimensional portal of colorful lines and white noise. You are tasked with fending off legally distinct TIE fighters while also looking out for your main goal, taking out the power boxes that fly by. Destroying a set number of these boxes will proceed you to the next level, or Nexar as the game calls them. So you're moving your crosshairs around to aim at things, but don't let it touch anything or else you lose a life. Try to figure that out. Not only that, but you've also got a ticking timer on the bottom which represents your energy, such as it is. Shooting power boxes adds some energy back to the meter, but if this runs out, it's game over no matter how many lives you have. And that's pretty much the entire game. You shoot legally distinct TIE fighters in boxes and try not to crash your crosshairs into their debris, which usually fly by really fast. And as you get farther into the game, later levels will have these things move even faster and you have more boxes to kill to clear a level. You have 3 difficulty settings to choose from, but this seems to skip ahead to later levels than actually change anything. Challenge of Nexar starts off being fun for a bit, the first-person rail shooter game type thing being somewhat uncommon on Atari 2600, and it's not too bad at first. The cursor could stand to move a bit quicker, but control is otherwise adequate. The idea of nailing X number of targets in each level before time runs out to keep playing isn't a bad one, but after a few levels when all that happens is everything moves faster and nothing new is added to the mix, that's when the game starts to lose its luster and falls into brain-dead tedium. You can toggle difficulty switches to determine starting lives as well as whether running out of time either ends a game or costs you a life, but that's about the extent of the variety to be found here. Challenge of Nexar keeps it simple with its visuals. The line scaling and scrolling effect employed to simulate forward motion is actually not too bad, but the scaling for the legally distinct TIE fighters in boxes is practically non-existent. The flashing lights for whenever something blows up is a bit of an eyesore, photosensitivity be damned. Sound output is also on the harsher side of things, lots of loud, irritating noises, and the constant background droning doesn't help much either. To call this ear violation central is being kind, this is more like ear mutilation. Best to play this with the volume all the way down. Overall, Challenge of Nexar is a relatively simple game that's fun for a little bit before it starts to get repetitive and eventually boring. Points for trying something somewhat unique for the time and for putting on a good first impression if nothing else. I just wish there was more to the game that gave me a reason to keep playing. Regardless, this one's worth a try if you get a chance, but don't expect it to hold your attention for too long.